coming down.
And you can hear protesters in the background. There have been protesters at the state capitol all day who support this state flag. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, again, you're witnessing history in the state of Mississippi.
Historic moment in the Mississippi State Legislature as the state votes for the first time to remove the Confederate battle flag from the Mississippi state flag. So you can see here, this is what the current state flag looks like. You can see the Confederate battle flag being very prominently displayed on the state flag. You can see this headline: Mississippi State Legislature passes the bill to remove the Confederate symbol from the state flag in a historic vote. And by the way, I just want to point out real quick, everyone always says, oh, well, you're removing the Confederate flag, you're removing history. First of all, we're going to put this flag in a museum so it can be studied by our children and our grandchildren. Nonetheless, I also want to point out, this isn't even the Confederate flag, right? Like this here, the battle flag there isn't the Confederate flag. It is the battle flag, and not just the battle flag. It was the battle flag of Northern Virginia. So it's not just the battle flag for the Confederacy. It was the battle flag for a certain part of the Confederacy, but that's the one that everyone remembers. That's the one that most people fought under in the Confederacy, and so that's the one that, again, that they all remember. Nonetheless, this is a massively historic vote, and by the way, the Republican governor, you can see here, Tate Reeves, who's a Republican, is saying that he would sign it into law. He said before the vote happened, he said ahead of time, look, I'm going to honor whatever the legislature does, whatever the state legislature does, that is what I'm going to do. And you can see here, it wasn't even actually a particularly close vote here. You can see which passed the state house in a 91-23 vote and the Senate in a 37-14 vote. So obviously there were a number of dissenters, and in that video clip you saw at the beginning there was some protesters shouting something about how, this is a bad thing, this shouldn't happen, et cetera, et cetera. But nonetheless, and you saw there that there was some, people again voting against it, but the overwhelming majority of the people and the overwhelming majority of the representatives in Mississippi were like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. This is the way that we're going. We saw, for instance, in South Carolina, they recently removed the battle flag, and something like 15 or nearly 20 years ago, maybe at this point, Georgia removed the battle flag as well. So this is something which is happening across the former Confederacy. And by the way, the Mississippi is the final state, the last state, which still has the battle flag, or I should say had the battle flag on their official state flag, now finally removing it. It will be brought to a ballot later, I believe, next election, or maybe I think in just a couple months, it'll be brought to sort of a vote, and at the election, they'll be able to, sort of bubble in and choose which design that the people of Mississippi prefer. And of course, the current Mississippi state flag will not be an option. And of course, it is Mississippi, so the next state flag design, whatever it looks like, will include the words, quote, "In God we trust." And actually, you can see here in the current state flag, or I should say the former/current, I guess it's in transition right now, it does not mention God at all. So some people, I'm sure, are calling this a win that, you're mentioning God on the flag. I'm sure at some point there will be opposition to get the "In God We Trust" removed from, the future flag design, which again, we don't know what that'll look like yet. Nonetheless, getting rid of the Confederate battle flag, I'll take that as a win.